Can Titan TV Man defeat Astro Juggernaut, and when will we see this fight? Who is the leader of the Astro Toilets? What is the hierarchy of the Astro Toilets and how strong are they? And are you wondering when the first part of episode 76 will be released? I'm going to answer all of these questions in this video, and in general, this video will be dedicated to the Astro Toilets, as you will learn absolutely everything about them, about their abilities, and about each Astro Toilet separately, and what is their purpose. And of course, there will be theories about the plot of future episodes.
Okay.
Hello friends, you're on the Dattebayo channel. Subscribe to the channel and press the like button under the video to speed up the release of the next video. And let's go. We don't really know much about Astro Toilets, but they do have their own little story that we know about. And the first time Astro Toilets appeared in episode 51. And the funny thing is that we only recently found out that in episode 51 was an Astro Toilets. Because Boom changed the description under episode 51 and wrote, Titan cameraman fights with giant Astro Toilet troop. And thus he tells us that during half of the series, the Astro Toilets were always among the agents and the regular toilets. In episode 51, we saw a flying mutant who turned out to be an Astro Toilet. And if you remember, I've noted many times that this dude is pretty fast-moving as he could react even to the attacks of the Titan cameraman. And he also had a helmet and red eyes, which confirms that he is an Astro Toilet. But even though he's an Astro Toilet, he's a pretty weak and low-ranking soldier. But he's only weak compared to the Titans because I think regular agents would have little chance of beating him. But what if I tell you we've seen the same Astro Toilet just recently? And this dude even has a name. And his name is Astro Interceptor. And in episode 74, we saw two of the same interceptors. And if you look closely, they have the same panel in the center, although they look a little different. But that's because Boom didn't want to make them exactly the same as the version from episode 51. And of course, their technology is always evolving. But overall, I'm pretty sure we're seeing Astro Interceptors in these two photos. But that's not all, as there are other Astro Interceptors, and we saw them at the beginning of episode 75 when they destroyed a squad of ordinary toilets. To be honest, we don't have exact information about their names, but based on the fact that they have ordinary helmets, and it's also evidenced by the fact that their wings are X-shaped like other interceptors, and that they are literally engaged in interception and reconnaissance, we can say that they are also interceptors, only more combat and probably of higher rank. From the abilities of all interceptors can be noted high survivability. As in episode 51, Interceptor was able to survive even after the cameraman fried him with a flame from the core, although his friend who was fried earlier immediately died after this, and from him was left only a skull. It is also possible that the Interceptors are even faster than other Astro Toilets, and it is logical as the guys are engaged in interception. Also, they have powerful weapons and even have special abilities like Soundwave, because in 74 episode we saw how one of the Interceptors killed the cameraman without even shooting him. And even if we slow down this frame, we do not see that he would use his guns. And most likely it was a sonic attack like the scientist used in episode 62. But still, in my opinion, they are the lowest rank in the army, and they could hardly defeat even one of the Titans. But they are great for killing ordinary agents. But we'll come back to them later because the Astro Toilets are all connected, and you'll get the full picture at the end, so make sure you watch to the end. The next guys we need to talk about are the Astro Destructors, and there were 4 of them in episode 74. We don't know anything about them as they didn't show their abilities, but one of them fired energy balls at POV Cameraman. And even though Cameraman was able to survive it, I think a few of these attacks can hurt even Titans. Also, these guys have a core that they can probably shoot from too, and although we don't know much about them, their names speak for themselves. And I think that these guys are the main fighting unit who are ready to destroy all their targets, and they rank higher than Interceptors. We also have the Astro Carrier we saw in episode 75, which transports Astro Interceptors that destroy everything in their path. It also has a core and even cannons, which means he can also fight if he has to, and he also has a shield that makes it impossible to attack directly. As for rank, I think it's a little higher than the Destructors and Interceptors, or maybe they're at the same combat rank. But we're left with the most important Astro Toilets. But let's start with the least important one in my opinion, and that's the UFO Toilet. This dude was officially the first Astro Toilet to appear on the show in episode 53. And even though the Astro Interceptor appeared in episode 51, but we only found out about it recently, so the UFO Toilet is officially the first Astro Toilet we've seen. And even in episode 53, we realized that he was not one of those stupid regular toilets, as he literally wiped out a large speaker in 1 second. And he also showed a crazy speed at that moment that some people even thought that Bro teleported. But I already showed you that if you slow down this moment, you can see that Bro moves faster than lightning. Of his abilities is a sharp mind and the mind-blowing speed that all Astro Toilets have. Bro also has a gun that can hurt even a Titan, as the dude with one shot splits into molecules even large agents. And he just as easily destroyed agent helicopters in episode 55 to get Titan cameraman's attention, so the toilets could destroy the anti-parasite cannon, which proves he's a smart and cunning dude. He also recently got protective glasses to protect him from the TV's abilities. And in general, he is one of the old characters who still continues to live, just like Uncle G-Man. And if you think about it, all the toilets that we saw throughout the series did not live up to this moment. The agents even managed to kill the freaking scientist who seemed unkillable because Bro was always acting from the shadows. But the UFO toilet is unkillable, dude, because if blood smells fried ass, he runs away and never gets involved in a losing battle. And as you realize, the reason he's still alive is because he's so smart. Actually, he's basically a weak character, and Titan cameraman could take him down with one punch. But once again, we are convinced that great strength is only 50% of winning. And some characters like UFO Toilet and G-Man manage to survive with the help of their minds. But what is the rank of the UFO Toilet in the army? Many people think that he is a very important character or even a general. But actually, I very much doubt it, and I think that he is a rat that spies on everyone and report on what is going on. Since we saw that in episode 74, Bro immediately hid behind the back of the other toilets. That means that even in such a situation, he is worried about his ass. But still, I think that he is higher rank than other Astro Toilets because he rarely fights. And maybe besides being a spy, he's also a great strategist who gives orders to the lower Astro Toilets. But let's talk about one of the most mystical Astro Toilets, and that's the Astro Juggernaut. This dude appeared in episode 72 when he saved Astro Claw's ass. By the way, I think Astro Claw, or Astro Commander as I call him, is even more important than the Juggernaut, and I'll explain why a little later. But about the Juggernaut, I think everyone knows that Bro is strong as hell. Blood can knock out even Titan with one attack. Because in episode 72, he didn't even hit Speakerman, but the blast wave was so powerful that it knocked Speakerman out of action for a while. He also has a small pet in the form of a dog, and it's strange that a cat has a pet dog. And did you know that under this mask is a Skibidi cat?
Bruh.
In fact, this is not official information, and it's just my guess. But for almost 3 months, I've been trying to prove that under the mask is a cat. But in this video, I won't prove it again. So you better watch my latest videos if you need proof. But if it turns out that there will be a cat under the mask, then I'll probably be the happiest person on Earth. So Bro better become a cat even if he is human. But as for what rank he is, I think he's the highest ranked of all those I mentioned before. And he's in the Astro Leader's Special Squad as well as the Astro Commander. And I think there are other special guys in that squad that we haven't seen yet. But we'll find out in the future. But will the Astro Juggernaut be able to defeat Titan TV Man? And will they fight in the future? I'm sure they will fight, because the Juggernaut is not a dude who can be defeated by any randoms like regular cameramen, and only Titans can fight against him. But to be honest, I don't believe much that TV Man can defeat him with the current improvements, and I put the Juggernaut even higher in my list of strongest. And by the way, be sure to watch this video if you are curious who is in first place. And although TV Man is one of the strongest characters in the series, but the Astro's technology and power is on another level. And I think if TV Man will try to take that magic ball, his core could explode. The Juggernaut is also physically strong, and we saw that even the Astro Commander was able to break TV Man's sword. And I think the Juggernaut is definitely not weaker than the Commander, and also his crazy speed could bring him winning in that fight. So at this point, I think the Juggernaut is stronger until TV Man gets the Astro improvement that scientists are working on. And I think that their battle may take place already in episode 77, because that episode should be very hot. Maybe the Astro Toilets will find out where the TV base is and try to attack it. And since the Juggernaut is in charge of the Interceptor squad, I think that he will go there. And if you notice, the Astro Toilets have 2 squads, an Interceptor squad led by Juggernaut, and another squad led by Mothership that we saw in episode 74. But before we get to the Mothership, let's talk about the Astro Commander. Back in episode 70, Bro surprised us with his brutal aura. And when he started talking in English, everyone was shocked by this, as it was the first time in the entire series that the toilet could talk. And he is also strong as hell. And from the abilities, it should be noted that Bro can absorb any energy attack and reflect it back to the enemy. And with that cheat anime ability, Bro becomes one of the strongest characters in the series. In addition, he is also physically strong as he breaks the TV's sword like a toy. And of course, he is smart and fast. But still, he is too confident, and because of this, he lost to G-Man. But about his rank, I think that Bro is taking one of the most important and high positions in the army, since even the Astro Juggernaut came to his rescue. And you must agree that the Juggernaut would hardly save him if he was some kind of random guy. Because Astro Toilets are such guys that they probably don't save those soldiers who screwed up. That's what happens in movies when serious and evil guys don't save their own friends if they screw up. And the fact that the Juggernaut saved him means something. So Bro is probably the commander of the whole army, and he's very close to the Astro leader. But there is one more character that I have to mention, and that is G-Man. And after we saw this poster, we were convinced that G-Man was an Astro Toilet, It is also very likely that his partner was also an Astro Toilet, because the scientist has a ring on the back of his head. But about G-Man, I think that this Giga Chad was almost on the highest position in the Astro army, and he was about the second most important after the Astro leader. And it makes sense because the Astro commander called G-Man Commander. I know that two commanders sounds funny, but I think that after G-Man was banished to Earth to atone for his sins, Astro Claw replaced him as commander. And the fact that G-Man was a commander means that he led an entire Astro army, and he used to be respected by everyone. But they knew how dangerous he was, and if he regained his power, the Astro race would be exterminated, and that's why they decided to kill him. So Uncle Jimmy is not as noob as everyone thought, and Bro was at his peak when he was an Astro Toilet, and hopefully he can regain his true power. But it's time to talk about an equally important character, namely the Astr Mothership. Actually, we don't know anything about this dude, but the aura he gives off is crazy, and his aura can only be compared to the chair's aura, but maybe the chair is a little more powerful. But anyway, we need to understand what it is and how strong this dude is and what position he holds in the army. The important thing is that all the Astro Toilets didn't start attacking the Titans until Mothership showed up, which means that this dude is in charge. It's hard to tell what he's capable of, but he can knock out small agents only with the help of his aura, so I'm sure this dude is pretty strong. As for his rank, I think he's about the same position as the Astro Commander, and they're the closest guys to the Astro Leader. And by the way, I'm suspecting that this dude is not the most important of all, because even in the movies or in life, the Grand Boss is always the last one to show up. And this Grand Boss will be so strong that we can't even imagine, and no Juggernaut or G-Man can even come close to his level. This is of course only a theory, and it may turn out that the Mothership is the leader and the main antagonist. But as I said a couple of seconds ago, that the final boss always appears last, so anything can happen. So that's the way it is, friends. Today I shared with you my thoughts on these dudes, and I hope you enjoyed it. But we still have one more question. When is episode 76 coming out? Yesterday we got leaks, and they were in good quality. And since the episode will be divided into parts, it means it should come out faster than usual. Hopefully the new episode will be released today or at most tomorrow. So let's hope and wait.